Hi! Reverend MeeLing, Susan MeeLing, Lady Dori Belle, Reverend Susan MeeLing. Yeah, I've got a few names that I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break from reading and dancing. I remembered this situation that occurred back in New Jersey when I was growing up. And so when I was growing up in New Jersey in like 7th grade, and I was listening to a song that said 7th grade, there was this guy. I did not like this guy. His name was Rob Castle. I mean, I'm sure like if he's alive, it's still the same, but I don't really care. Anyway, so he was this annoying. Like, I know that everybody has had a situation where there was someone who just did not, like, get the freaking hint, get the memo, nothing, where it was like, no, I'm not interested in you. Like, I literally, it was not a hint, it was not anything other than literally, no, Rob Castle, I'm not interested in you. No, Rob Castle, I don't want to date you. Despite the fact I wasn't able to date at the time anyway. No, Rob Castle, leave me alone. No, Rob Castle, I'm not interested in you. No, Rob Castle, there will never be a point where I actually find you interesting as a human being. No, Rob Castle, I don't like you. You know, just on and on and on. And he was like, one day I'll make you like me. It's like, no, Rob Castle, I don't like you. No, I won't ever like you. I met him in Kwondo at the time. And he lived in Manalapan, New Jersey, where I grew up in Morganville, or Marlborough Township, for those who don't necessarily know the suburb of Morganville. And so this guy, I mean, and guy is like, only because he's male, and like that's questionable in certain ways, and not in a anti-LGBTQ way, not at all. Just one of those like, ew. And so that's all ew. And that was back when I was in 7th grade. Like that's not even like just disgusting. Anyway, it was so bad in the class between Rob Castle and I that Sensei Bob was like, Susan. And I was like, yes, Sensei Bob. And he was like, so you're about to earn your green belt. And this was like technically not even a year. I had gone from white through all of the different tapes, white with a black stripe with all the different tapes, yellow with all the different tapes, yellow with a black stripe with all the different tapes, up to green at that point. But in Taekwondo, the form that I was being taught, couldn't spar until you were a green belt. And as a green belt, I'll get to that. So anyway, so right before I was about to go through the graduation ceremony, after, if I had earned it, before I get to go in to do the form work and all that sort of stuff, Sensei Bob goes, Susan, come here. And I was like, okay, what, Sensei Bob? Former Navy guy. And what, Sensei Bob? And he's like, Susan, yes, when you become a green belt, you know that sparring is part of green. Yes, I know. I am so excited for sparring. You're like, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. He goes, yeah, I have a feeling that I know why you're excited to spar. Yes, I have a feeling, hypothetically, that I want to spar Rob Castle. Like, I want to like, and he's like, yeah, so Susan. What, Sensei Bob? Susan, you really quickly went up in the ranks. Like, surprisingly fast. Like, I studied real hard, and I practiced my form, and I did this, and I did that, and da-da-da-da. And Sensei Bob was like, yeah, I know, like, where you got to, it's supposed to take, like, at minimum, like, 2 years. And I was like, well, you know, I studied. I want to make sure I did it right. Is there something wrong with that, Sensei Bob? No. But like Rob Castle has been working like for the past 4 years to get like essentially to where you're about to graduate to. Okay. I don't care. Like, I don't care. It doesn't, what does that mean, Sensei Bob? And he was like, so because you are far more advanced, whenever I am teaching class, okay, yes, Sensei Bob? He said, whenever I teach class, I'm not going to allow you to spar Rob Castle. Why? Is the only reason why you learned so quickly to be able to spar Rob Castle? No. It is a benefit though. I can't lie, Sensei Bob. I can't lie. That is a benefit, but no, he had nothing to do with it. But, you know, now that you mention it, that is a benefit that I didn't really think about before. And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, so, you know, why can't I spar him? I'm just saying, Sensei Bob. I mean, I would have so much fun. And he's like, yeah, no. And I was like, why not? I mean, you know, he's in high school. I'm in middle school. So, you know, same belt rank, right? And he's like, yeah, if you graduate. Yeah, when I graduate. And so, well, fine. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, fine. Since when you're teaching, Sensei Bob, you won't allow me to spar Rob Castle. Fine. Okay. I can deal with that. And he looks at me. And Sensei Bob said, Susan, it's almost like you know something I don't know. I'm ready for my test. Sensei Bob. Okay. It's a quick subject change. Okay, fine. Okay. So I did my test and I passed with flying colors. And irony, I had to be retaught colors after my infantry on Palm Sunday in 2000. Anyway, so I had just earned my green belt with a black stripe after finishing what work it took to get the different tapes from that. And Sensei Bob was like, okay, well, there's going to be a competition for Taekwondo and da-da-da. And, you know, some of you have already put in your paperwork. Others, your parents put in your paperwork for you. And he looks at me and goes, Susan, are you ready for your first competition? And I was like, wait, what? I didn't even know that there were Taekwondo competitions. And he's like, yeah, your dad filled that paperwork out. And I was like, oh, okay. Sure. I guess so. I guess I'll go. So, go to competition. And there was nobody that I sparred against in the female, because it was male and female separated, that was below a brown belt with a black stripe and several tapes. And so I got either second or third place in form and I got both, either second or third place in form and second or third place in sparring, as a green belt who just earned my black stripe. I won. I mean, I earned it, but I won. So, I didn't say anything. Not that it wasn't a big deal to me. It was just one of those, okay, Yeah, I did that. All right. So going back to Taekwondo, there was not a single day that there was class where Rob Castle would not annoy me, which is why Sensei Bob was like, no, you are not allowed. Like, I know he's annoying you. I know he's purposefully singling you out. I know he keeps doing all this stuff, but I'm not going to let you spar him because you will hurt him. Yes, that is. I don't deny that, Sensei Bob. I don't deny that. It's been, at this point, a year and a half, and he won't leave me alone. He won't stop. He won't take the hint. He won't take the memo. He literally has been told no repeatedly, Sensei Bob. He's like, yeah, I know, I've separated you several times, and then he tries to, like, be a sneaky person and, like, sneak over to you, and I have to remind him to go back away. And I'm like, yeah, so, like, I'm really tired of it. And now he's starting to do this thing with his hands where he's like, whatever. And I'm really, like, I don't know what that is. I don't know why. He's just like, whatever. But, like, that is just so annoying. And he's just like, what? And I was like, he keeps doing this, and I don't know what that is, like, why he's doing that, but I want to hurt him for that. Not like, it's just additional to the stuff that he's, like, been doing. And he's like, what do you mean? Do you not know it's from a movie? And I'm like, no, I don't really watch movies. Because at that time, I wasn't allowed to watch movies that were above a G rating. I could watch G-rated movies any day, all day, no problem. PG ratings, I had to actually get permission. PG-13 ratings, I had to wait until I was 13, and then I still had to get permission, and before I could watch that movie. And so, you know, my biological parents actually followed those guidelines. And so I told Sensei Bob that, and I was like, Sensei Bob, I don't know why you would ask me that. He's like, so you have no idea what this means from any movie? No, I don't. Like, why, Sensei Bob? And he goes, oh my God, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna reiterate, you're like, as long as I'm teaching the class, you are not at all, like, no. Not allowed to spar Rob Castle. Oh my God. And I was like, okay. Ready for class? And he was just like, you have such, I don't, oh my God. So, one day, arrived to class, and Rob Castle continues doing the whatever, and I'm just, well, there was a guy there who played the flute, and he was a black belt, and he was one of the assistant teachers. And I was like, where's Sensei Bob? I can't remember the guy's name. And the guy goes, Sensei Bob's not coming in today because of something or whatever. And I'm like, are you saying we're going to have a substitute teacher? And he was like, yes. Why are you smiling like that, Susan? And I'm like, we're going to have a substitute teacher? And he was like, yeah. Okay. Oh, this is awesome. And he was just like, okay, sure. I don't understand. You will. You will understand so quickly. It will be before the end of the class. I promise you will understand before the end of the class why I have this, like, whew, I have a substitute teacher? Oh, yay. And he was just, okay. Kind of nervous. Well, by that time I'm in 8th grade. And so substitute teacher. does the warm-ups and stuff like that, does all the stuff, and then it's sparring time. He looks at me and he sees that I have a green belt with a black stripe. There's only one other individual in the class who has a green belt with a black stripe. Unlike that individual, I actually had tape on mine, and that just so happened to be Rob Castle. And so all the other individuals are paired up and sparring, and everybody in the class just was like, oh, and I'm standing there like, yes. Ooh, weird. Ooh, I'm ready. Oh, I am. Thank you, substitute teacher. This is greatness. Thank you so much. I've been waiting for this day. I knew that it was gonna happen. I didn't tell Sensei Bob because he didn't ask. And so Rob Castle, being the arrogant person that he was, probably still is, because my mommy and daddy have this money, and my mommy and daddy, and yeah, that's your mommy and daddy's money, that's not your money. Even you're saying it's your mommy and daddy's money, but, whatever. So, do the... And I get into well, first he wouldn't bow to me. He just went straight into stance. I was like, "Aren't you going to bow?" And Rob Castle looked at me and he said, "That would mean I'd have to respect you." Well, you can still bow and respect the form. So, and he refused to. All right, well, I at least did it. I at least bowed twice, and so, fine. And Rob goes, and I was already ready. Now, and so Rob Castle then stands like this. He's like, "Come at me. You want to come at me? Big and fat, whatever." And I'm just like, just put up your fists. You wanna let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna prove to you why you should accept no as an answer when I tell you no. And Rob Castle just, "Come on, what are you scared? What are you scared?" And I'm like, no, I'm not scared. Rob Castle, put up your fucking, and continue on with that. And just, if you're, I'll give you a free shot, da 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 da. And I'm like, Rob Castle, put up your fists. Get into stance. At least attempt. He won't stop with whatever. And I was like, all right. And he said, "Come on, hit me with your best shot, and anywhere. You can," as he's standing like this, "you can hit me anywhere. I'm man enough, I can take it, blah, 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 blah. You can't do anything that would hurt me." What? I admit, I dropped my hands, and I'm just like, "Are you really going to stay standing like that?" And he's like, "I won't block you because, you're a girl. How hard can a little girl hit? Whatever. And I'm just like, please. Oh, I see why Sensei Mom said I wasn't allowed to spar him, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. And so, Rob Castle continues on with his whatever, and then, "What can you do? You're a girl." And I said, "All right, so you don't know this, but you remember that competition a couple months back, and he was like, what does that have to do with this? I was like, I got a trophy. Actually, 2 trophies. And I was the lowest rank by a lot. And one of the females in the class was like, yeah, she did. She placed, and she said whichever places that I got, and she was like, yeah, like Susan actually placed. And that female was a black belt, like 2nd degree, I think. And she placed, Rob. She actually earned those trophies. Like, you really wanted, like, I had to spar her. I'm telling you, you really don't want to give her a free shot. She'll hurt you. And like this, you really need to. And Rob Castle continued, whatever, she's just, like, they probably just gave it to her because she was a girl. And the female's like, no, it was the female category. They didn't just give her the trophy. It was a massively huge stadium. She went up against over 50 different females that were a brown belt with a black stripe. And the lowest one from that was 2 stripes on that brown belt with a black stripe. She won each of the matches she was in. She got, I can't remember, 2nd or 3rd place in form and 2nd or 3rd place in sparring. Like, you really need to. You really, like, this female was like, she was actually pleading with Rob Castle to just put his hands up to attempt to try to save himself. And he was just, whatever to her. When he did whatever to her, she goes, all right, you were warned. Get him, Tiger. Get him. I was like, come on. Put him up. And Rob Castle kept saying, when you can hit me anywhere, and you hit me with your big shot, I don't care what you mean. And I was like, all right, anywhere, I can hit you anywhere. I just want to verify before I go forward. I can hit you anywhere. And Rob Castle goes, yeah, you can hit me. I'll give you any free shot. Are you sure? Because I'm telling you, really want to change your fighting stance. You really do, if you're going to tell me anywhere. And he was just, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. And I don't know why that was infuriating. It still is. So, even though I'm impersonating Rob Castle, and so, although he was more of a bitch than that. So, so, I admit the irony is that during the sparring competition, I threw more punches. Like in the sparring competition, I was, and I did do a lot of kicks. I did do so many kicks, but those who know Taekwondo, usually you do kicks more so than punching. I had earned the sparring trophy from my punches, and I would do my finishing hit with a kick. Sometimes, not always. There were plenty that I had just done with punches, but either way. And so, mainly because I didn't want to hurt the females with my kicks. That's really what that boils down. Like, I wasn't trying to be rude or whatever. It's just I know how strong my legs are, or at least back then I know how, well, yeah, both, but knew how strong my legs were. And so, even though it was a competition, it was one of those I don't actually want to do, like, severe damage. So, but with Rob Castle, it was one of those, I've been waiting for this day for so long. We'll have so much fun. I really recommend, like, you change your stance. Just change it from this to this, please. No, you don't want to? All right. Now, of course, I was in a gi at that time in comparison to what I'm wearing now. And so I just, boom, right between the legs. Much harder than what I just did because, you know, I'm in a pencil skirt and wearing heels. And he went up with my foot because I struck that hard. And when I retracted my foot, I was like, well, as he landed on his feet-ish, he kind of, and then there were these pieces of essentially his cup that fell to the floor. And then he grabbed himself and he fell over. And I was like, told you should change your stance. Ready? Ready to spar now? Ready? Well, the substitute teacher was like in a corner and he was just like, what just happened? Well, they carted off Rob Castle. And I was like, yeah, well, you know. A bunch of the females were like, thank you. Oh, you're such. And I'm like, you've seen what he's been doing. And yeah, and I was like, he won't be. And so all the females and I were just like, yeah, it was so great, yeah. Well, the substitute teacher was the one who carted him out, you know, pulled him off, and you know, just he was crying the whole time. I mean, I understand why. I mean, the fiberglass cup did break, and you know, whatever. And the next week, Sensei Bob is apparently waiting for me to show up. As soon as I open the door, I see Rob Castle and I'm just like, yeah, that's right, remember that. And then I hear Sensei Bob, Susan, get in here now. Oh man, did you tattletale on me? I was gonna tell on myself, but fine. And Sensei Bob goes, Susan, sit down right now. Sensei Bob, what is this about? Are you going to sit down? No, I have a feeling I already know what this is about. But if it would make you feel better, okay, I can sit down. All right, fine. Yes, Sensei Bob. What's the problem? And Sensei Bob is sitting on the other side of his desk, and he goes, Susan, what did I tell you about sparring Rob Castle? And I said, well, from what you told me, you said I was not allowed to spar Rob Castle so long as you were teaching the class. And Sensei Bob looks at me and he's like, yes! I'm sitting there. I'm waiting for what the problem is, Sensei Bob. And Sensei Bob says, were you born a lawyer? No, I was born as me, Sensei Bob. You have to go to school to be a lawyer, right? And he just, oh my God, Susan, really? Okay. What did I tell you? You told me, Sensei Bob, that as long as you were teaching the class, I was not allowed to spar Rob Castle. Were you teaching the class in reference to what you're about to be upset about and yell at me at? And he looks at me and goes, I told you as long as I was teaching the class that you were not allowed to spar Rob Castle. And I sit there looking at Sensei Bob, and he's, you know, those who have been in the Navy know what type of yelling he was doing. especially if, you know, the Navy guy had a desk, they know exactly what type of yelling Sensei Bob was doing. And I'm just sitting there listening. Uh-huh. And then Sensei Bob stops and he goes, "So what do you have to say for yourself, Susan?" "A couple of things, but I'm going to ask a question first, Sensei Bob." And he looks at me, he's like, "What?" And those who have know exactly the type of situation. And I lean and I put my arm on the desk and I'm like, "Sensei Bob?" And he's like, "Yes. If I got this correctly, you said when you teach class, I wasn't allowed to spar Rob Castle." And Sensei Bob is, "Yes." Okay, I have a question. "What is it?" "Were you teaching the class last week?" I wasn't giggling at that time. And Sensei Bob, his face got about as red as my hair. And he was just, "No. I'm not teaching class last week." And so then I sit up and I'm like, "So Sensei Bob," and he's, "What?" He did not giggle. "What? So you were not teaching the class last week?" "No. You said that as long as you were teaching the class, I was not allowed to spar Rob Castle, right?" "Yes. But you were not teaching the class last week when I sparred Rob Castle." No, I wasn't." "So why are we having this meeting in your office, Sensei Bob?" And he made sure to clarify that I was never allowed to spar Rob Castle ever again. Not my problem. But what was gross, like, he got a used jock strap because he wanted to, like, finish the sparring thing, and the substitute teacher was like, "No." "You could spar somebody other than her." I have to speak with Sensei Bob about what just happened. So Sensei Bob said that I'm not allowed to spar Rob Castle. Which I'm going to say. I could have a lot of fun being the dominant sadist that I am in Retribution if Rob Castle had caused problems, hypothetically speaking, to my Medal of Honor art project. I'd have fun getting justice for that. Especially if there was a long history, like just, ooh. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I was not born a lawyer. I was born as me. You guys have a good one. Like my videos that are official. Share them with everyone and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.